Anti-Afro Svengalis. Listen, I wasn't planning on posting a video because I didn't think it was necessary. However, several people were asking me, can you please come on and address this stuff that's going on? And first, I want to say to everyone out there who supports me, who shows respect for me, who has believed in me, and I'm talking about on YouTube and off, I am eternally grateful. The feeling is mutual. And be happy, which you already know anyway, but I'll let the world know. None of this stuff that you see going on has ever impacted me to the point where I don't enjoy life. They haven't ruined any holidays. They haven't stopped my family from loving me. They haven't taken any friends from me. And that's the frustrating part for them. They can't impact me in the way they so desperately want to. You will not ever get me to stop doing what I want to do. You're not going to dictate that. But let me go on and be specific about the things that people were asking me to talk about. So, what you've been hearing lately is a whole lot of noise. Oh, let me make sure it's clear. There is one topic I'm not going to be addressing: ghetto ratology. I don't indulge in ghetto ratology. This wines snakephonia. I might post some community wall messages, but ghetto ratology will not be addressed on this channel. These rogue public servants, I'm talking about, let me see your handcuffs, Dumpsey D. Derell, Medicare defrauder, T. Pre, the scamming banker, NPW, the college administrator who, Lord have mercy, I couldn't even list all the things that she's doing. Let me tell you something about all of these individuals. Number one, I'm not connected to any of them. So let me get that straight. Number two, their opinion of me, they want so badly for it to matter to me, and it doesn't. So that's the frustrating part. So when you encounter a situation like this, they keep going on and on and on. They're getting more frustrated. They're attacking people's families that I'm associated with. Here you have NPW calling Gerald's wife a B. They are just trying harder and harder to get a response out of me that they're never going to get. You are never going to get me online to do what you're doing. They can say it all day long, but when it comes down to it, the things that they are doing and saying, they will never be able to get me to replicate. And that's the frustrating part. Meanwhile, they're engaging in all of these unethical and illegal behaviors. That's how far they think they need to go in order to try to do what? Get me what? Turned up like they're turned up? You hear some of the things these people are saying? Listen, we're capturing everything that you're doing. So let me give you a little rundown. Let's start with let me see your handcuffs. Let me see your handcuffs. I put her to the side because I know she's under criminal investigation, and we were asked not to say certain things about her. She knows she's under criminal investigation for many things that she did, including receiving confidential information from Derell Moore when he worked at the prosecutor's office. That's a fact. Filed false CPS reports, filed false police reports. Her name is on these documents. So I have put her to the side. What I do have pending are complaints to the state education agency so they can be aware of what she's doing. So that's why I haven't really addressed her. And no felony probationer is going to get me to shut up about let me see your handcuffs, who tried to steal anti-fraud warriors and a lot of other things. I only filed one complaint with one employer with let me see your handcuffs. I have more to go. So I'm putting her a little bit to the side right now, but let me see your handcuffs. Don't think for 1 second that there's anybody on planet Earth that could ever shut me up when it comes to making sure the truth about you is told. And sure as hell breaking the culture of silence. She has a whole, I won't even go there. You are not going to shut her up for damn sure. We have the documents with her name on the documents that she made those reports. Your voice is recorded. You committed a crime and you think you're going to shut me up with a felony probationer making criminal threats? No, that's not going to happen. So you go ahead and say in the chat, you're in the chat, This is a teacher in the chat, of a felony probationer, thinking she can run some identity check on me. I feel the worst for these people whose these photos of innocent people that they continue to pass around, who have no idea what these people are doing. This is what a teacher is doing. A credentialed teacher is doing this on the internet. And you think, I have a problem? I'm not the one with the problem. I'm not committing a crime. You're committing multiple crimes. You're engaging in conspiracy because you're so pissed that you can't get me to respond the way you want me to. You will never get me to respond the way you want me to. I will never do the things that you were doing. Never. You will never, ever pull me down to that level. And that is the frustrating part. So let's go to Dumpsey D. Derell. I have a pending complaint with him with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice based on what he has done to me and others. There are certain things. Yes, as therapists, freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech, but you cannot cross certain lines. And he has crossed many, many lines. Let me explain one in particular. He's up here trashing the Mexican people. That has nothing to do with me, but he sure as hell is engaging in discriminatory conduct, in race attacking conduct, and that is disallowed. Dumpsey is habitual about targeting Mexican Americans based on the fact that he thinks I'm Mexican. He's ridiculing the culture, and he wants to become a domestic violence treatment provider, where obviously the state of Texas has a very high population of Mexican Americans and people of Hispanic or Latino descent, however you want to describe it. He thinks he should be a service provider to people who are from this culture. He thinks he should be a service provider of people from the Mexican American culture or heritage, while he spews this very disgusting and vile, rancid attack on the whole entire culture. So the Texas Department of Criminal Justice is investigating him. He also ridiculed women who were victims of sexual assault, challenging their criminal allegations against a football player. That is not the same thing as somebody coming on and saying, I make a decision about whether or not I believe someone. No, he's completely ridiculing them and saying that you cannot force a woman into a sex act. This is supposed therapist talking. Now, don't forget, Dumpsey is a Medicare defrauder. He is the one who has a formal disciplinary action on his record for stealing money from Medicare. I don't have that on my record. And all the while, Dumpsey was up here saying, I have a date with the board. Why would I have a date with the board? He's talking about the board here that I answer to. They've never contacted me about anything. Because if somebody sent a complaint in, very obviously, it didn't meet legal criteria, and it won't. I don't replicate these behaviors that these people are doing. If I came back and did exactly what they were doing and responded exactly how they are exactly and continued doing it on and on and on and on, I would have probably lost the license by now. I don't have an urge to do that. I've never thought about doing that. That isn't something I would ever do. They are taking people's total and complete races, culture, ancestry, and eviscerating it. Race attacking, breaking the culture of silence, all this. There are other public servants. I'm not sure this Carrie Ann is a public servant, so we're not really focusing on her in this video, but that's a whole nother story. The bottom line is these videos are captured, so they can deny all they want. That is the strategy of demons. They will get up and start denying something, but only after they've snatched down the video. It doesn't make any difference, though, because we obviously have the video. We're going to get on here and talk about a video. Trust you me, we have the video. So deleting it doesn't make any difference. This is behavior that is going to get them in serious trouble. You're not going to get me up there saying those things. I am on the right side of the law. I remain law abiding. You are not going to stop me from doing anything on YouTube. You don't run YouTube. You don't hold stock in Google. You won't tell me what I'm going to post. You're not going to say how, when, where, whatever you want to say, you think you can get me to do or not do. It's not going to happen. I do not take orders from criminals who can't even figure out a way to stay out of jail or prison. Are you serious? I don't take orders from any abusers or harassers or people who target children. I'm not T-Pre. I don't go and hang out with people who have a history of calling me mammy, putting dogs on my face, me face being put on a dog's ass. I don't do stuff like that. That's deal-breaking behavior. T-Pre has no deal-breaking behavior. She is a scamming ass banker who used my name to make money. My name. Hasn't even answered the Catherine Brown lawsuit, but made money off of telling lies that I had some relationship with Catherine Brown. I mean, I would be embarrassed if I couldn't stand a person and I had to make money off them. I would feel very self-degrading. I hate you, but I need you to make money. Talk about no self-respect. That's exactly what is the common denominator with all of these rogue public servants. It is embarrassing, people. Now let's go to Herschel Proctor Walden. That is your legal name. You are a public servant. Yeah, you're a public servant. Your name is all over the internet. My name is all over the internet. In fact, my name is so all over the internet, you're harassing the people who aren't even me. My name is all over the internet. I don't know, 6, 7, 8,000 people have the same name. They're harassing people who aren't even me. That's what they're doing. You have the sheriff's department having to go over to office buildings and tell people that their photograph, name, and address is being posted all over the internet. By who? Some extremely unstable individuals. And you need to take precautions for yourselves and your families. No doubt that was the message, because law enforcement is obligated to make that contact. I spoke to a couple of people whose faces were put on the internet and they received phone calls. This is the desperation. This is the extent to which public servants and their flunkies and apologists will go just because they're unsatisfied with the reaction that you're giving them. This is their action. This is their behavior. I am not taking responsibility for anything that arises out of it. NPW, what I think about this person, that she's trying to get me to say something so I will confirm or deny something. If you, Herschel Proctor Walden, think I'm harassing you, you need to get your ass into court and you need to call the police on me. You are not going to get me up here to confirm or deny anything, especially if it's going to lead to identifying anybody else who could have filed a complaint against you. You are offending a great many people. But if you want to go ahead and continue to think and believe that I am the sole individual who has an issue with you, perhaps that's comforting. It's comforting to you to fool yourself into thinking you have one enemy walking planet Earth. This is a person who continuously lies about being a professor. You are a part-time instructor who never made tenure. I had nothing to do with that. You were the one that was working at that university and couldn't make tenure. You're the one, God knows what you were doing. You weren't writing any articles. That's why they moved you out of that university. Then you went over to another university and you became some sort of assessor, working in EOP office or whatever they call it. I don't know whether or not you're still there. Wouldn't surprise me if you weren't. But you were the one that got on the internet and started sexually harassing me. I have 58 audio clips of you sexually harassing me and threatening me with violence. You are not going to get up here on the YouTube and run any other story. These are the facts. So if you think I have done something to violate your rights, you need to keep this within the legal system. You going on all these panels, I don't care about that. And To be so low as to go after Gerald's wife because you can't get me or him to respond the way you want to, that just simply shows who you are. You also are running around with the felony probationer thinking this is the person who's going to get me to do or say anything according to anything other than what I want to say. You people are not scaring me. You're not intimidating me. I'm simply capturing everything you're doing, and I'm going to report you to the law officials. You're not going to pull me outside of the law. You're not going to drag me down into the sewer, below sewer level, and act like you're acting. You haven't even gotten me to call you any sort of bitches or whores or sluts. You haven't even heard me say the F word. You don't have anything that you can do to me that will put me in a position to have any sort of criminal charges or board action. Because I do have free speech, but I haven't crossed the lines like you are continuously. You have continuously crossed the line and you're pissed because I won't go along with you. Keep saying what you're saying. Keep doing what you're doing. If I don't have a relationship with someone, they can't get me in a position to be upset because they're calling me a name. But if you cross the line and threaten my life, sexually harass me, I'm going to report you to your employer and I'm going to file a police report if it's criminal. That's what I'm doing. I'm staying within the confines of the law. You can continue to act in your underbelly, low life manner. It is not going to do anything to me. People, I mean, listen to these people up here eviscerating the Mexican American culture while they try to convince themselves of something they already know is a lie, and they're trying to convince you that I'm Mexican. Here is the fact. It doesn't matter what you think I am. They are in the process of trying so hard to get me. They're up here committing all types of ethical violations. They're violating their code of conduct. They are race slash culture attacking an entire different group of people because they want to try to get to me. They are only going to hurt themselves. They're the ones who are going to have to sit there and answer to a regulating body as to the reasons for doing what they're doing. I'm not going to stand in their way. I'm sure as hell not going to acquiesce to any of their demands. Their demands are ridiculous. They really expect people to listen to what they say in terms of, yes, okay, I'm going to do this. You want me to, oh yeah, I'll do that. They probably never had anybody listening to what they say. Can you blame them? Look at how they're acting. All that screaming and hollering. They are simply at their wits' end because they can't get me to obey them. I'm not obeying you. Let me tell you what is the ultimate victory, and I'll be straight up with you. These demons are in complete malformation, torn up, just going all over the place, exhausting themselves, trying to get an effect, trying to get a result that they will not get from me. I'm not wired like these demons are wired. It's just, we were, what do you call it, manufactured in two different factories a million miles apart. So there's no chance of even being cut from two cloths that are in the same factory. It's so far beyond that. But what ends up happening, we get to capture what you're saying and what you're doing, and then there's a double or triple whammy when law enforcement or your jobs get involved and they hear and say what you're doing. So you go ahead and you document for your employers that you're not someone they want around. You don't get a victory out of that. We don't have to do anything. You're doing it for us. People, you know there is so much more to come. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.